Hello from Bali. This is the podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about vitamins and let's start with the definition.
It was a time when people just eat food and never thinking, is it healthy or not? But at some points they know that if you eat some kind of food, you will become healthier, your eyes will look better, you will hear something which couldn't be recognized by other people, your body will shine by your skin and something like this. And they started to find what is out. And they found some kind of food which they decided to be vital. Vital is like intent to protect life, to make our life longer. So vita means vita like life. So it is something which is very useful for our life from the digestion side.
And when we're trying to identify like what exactly vitamins we do need, what kind of maybe analysis or maybe even the casual observations we need to make in order to make sure that we will have a list of the things that definitely lacking in our body.
It's almost impossible because everything is covered by myths, and I will tell several. For example, there is a berry which is called blackberry, черника. Is it okay? Blackberry?
Yes, blackberry.
Blackberry, which is named by a dietitian as a worthless berry. So that is most useless berry in the world. So maybe it has a nice view, maybe it has a nice taste, but there is nothing in it. But everyone is saying this is very useful for your eyes, but it's not. Another story, on some islands close to the equator, is it okay to say equator?
Yes, equator.
Equator. There were some taboo for poor people. For example, do not eat some kinds of nuts, especially chestnut, because inside it is very familiar to be like membrane. And жрецы,
prayers probably.
prayers, they were afraid that if people will eat a lot of this chestnut, people will become smarter, and it would be very hard to trick them out. And third, there was a time of Second World War, and one pilot of English aviation on the Spitfire, he was bombing one place in Germany which was producing very lethal weapons. And then all the papers were filled with the same story, that this was a very special pilot because his mother from the young teeth were feeding him with carrot, and this is the reason why he has a special night vision. And already for almost 80 years, all mothers on all our mother planet, they think that if their child will eat carrot, they will have a better view. But it's not true. It's myth because English intelligence were trying to cover his spy, which was installed in the German high-rank officer. So they were trying just to cover it up, but it's so easy to believe that everyone now thinks that carrot is quite a veg.
Well, I do believe people like to believe the myth that they heard, especially from someone who is just like more or less influenced. And when we speak about maybe even bare minimum, because at certain point of time, whatever we're consuming on our territories might be probably sufficient enough for us. But if we speak about something that is definitely, as you said, vital, is really required, so what it might be, maybe not even the names, but overall like the groups or maybe even the qualities.
Let's be honest. There are 13 vitamins which are not produced by human body, and there is just one way to have them. It's to eat something. For example, a lot of people think that banana is quite a good fruit because it was eaten by monkeys. But to be honest, there are nothing in it except of one component. It's magnesium. Magnesium is very useful for our heart. But by the way, let's talk about vampires. Do you know why vampires drink blood? Let's think all together. Vampires afraid of sunlight. Sunlight is used to produce vitamin D. And if they have no sunlight, and they could not live under sunlight, so they drink our blood to get this vitamin D. So when we will go to have a sun baths, we will have this vitamin. For example, vitamin A is quite rare, and we should eat something. For example, people who live in Siberia, on close to the North Pole, they eat, for example, let me remind, liver of white bear, and also a liver of I forgot this name of the cod, black cod, черная треска.
Yes, it's a cod.
Black cod.
And when we speak about, maybe even complexes, so definitely I do believe I've heard this from you as well. Like when you lack of something, vitamins, you definitely will notice it in whatever way. But when you, consume something more, you probably may not understand like that, like it affects your life. So it's actually quite interesting because we only can see and we only can make a decision when we really like maybe in pain or maybe when we're sick. But how to make sure that like we not overdose ourselves like with all of this things from the pharmacy, or maybe like overeating fruits, or maybe overeating some food that actually could make a damage. So how to know when to stop?
It's quite good, quite a good question, and now I will need your help and assistant. When we will try to clean our dishes, we use some special sponge, and this sponge has a special ability, which name I know I will try to pronounce, and maybe you will correct me. It's like a hydro ability to suck the liquid. Is it okay to say?
Yeah, like a soaking up.
Soaking up, yes. So if, for example, you will think this sponge under the water and you will take it out after like 10 seconds, it would be filled with water, but without излишков.
Some like extra water.
But some extra water will go out. The same would be with our body. I was living close to Chernobyl, like 60 kilometers, and we were all our child, we were fed by a sugar covered with, I don't know how to say,
Yodium, probably.
With yodium. And it was funny because we were eating the sugar and we were happy to eat them. But at some point I found that our teacher was having something on the body, like a big bulb. And she went to the doctor, and doctor said, it's quite easier to cover your nogti, thumbnails. Nails by also yodium. And she started to do this, and there were two different reactions. At first, this bulb became smaller, but from other point, her skin became to be looking like a carrot one, because it became to be orange. But in a very small period, this bulb completely disappeared. In Russian language, it has a name zob. I don't know how to say zob.
Well, like probably need to think about. Yeah.
Okay. So it was for me like a lesson that small portion of different minerals or liquids or vitamins could affect to our body.
And actually, whether it's helpful or maybe whether it's even useful or healthy for the body, actually to like stop to getting vitamins and maybe like do some sort of like cleanup, or as a human we actually need this endless flow of the stuff to build our body, or there's might be a good time to take a pause and maybe like let the body clean itself as well.
Maxim, I have been to the summit of world government in Dubai like 5 years ago, and there were quite interesting meeting, and I was meet some people, and suddenly I was invited by one of them to visit another hall with another kind of talking about healthy life, and there were speech of Dubai Ministry of Healthy Affairs. I don't know how to say. Is it okay?
Ministry of Health.
Ministry of Health, and he started from a very strange point. He said, the main reason for diabetes in Dubai, and everyone was just stay silent. And he told, everyone in Dubai try to hit 2 or 3 oranges each morning to make orange juice. But this is a direct way to have a diabetes. And after listening of this smart guy, I approached him and I say, I'm very sorry, I'm not a dietitian, and I want just to know why the orange juice is so harmful for our bodies. And he was looking at me with a polite smile and answered, if you will eat just orange, you couldn't eat 2 or 3 at the time because it will require some efforts. But if you will make everything by machine, you could drink three oranges at once. But if you will put them on an empty stomach, it will become the same oxide like a stomach oxide. So you will have, I don't know how to say, like yazva.
Need to think about this one as well.
Okay. And for me, it was a very hard lesson because previously I was working in Laos. Laos, it's a country in Asia, and I have the same problem. I was trying to fulfill myself with vitamins because it was like February, and I was each morning I was trying to eat like a half of ananas. But suddenly, after 5 or 7 days, I know that my teeth are completely painful. And when I was even not able to drink just fresh water, I asked some guys, how do you eat those ananas? And everyone says, we never eat them. But if we eat, we make it half with water. We never drink this juice. Just tourists do this. And I ask them, but why no one is asking? And they say, come on, everyone knows. But I was asking, but who knows? I don't know. So when you live on some territory, maybe you will know that durian is quite good fruit to eat. Or maybe you will know that papaya is very useful after hangover. But in any other cases, you will know just about food, what was told by your mother and your grandmother, and they may not know about vitamins or something other supplements.
Well, I do believe it's also, like maybe effect of the movies or anything like this, because we do believe that, like eating fruits all day long might be really healthy, especially, like in some of the movies, you see people always drinking orange juice so that you feel, okay, maybe it's something that I really should try. And then my last question will be how knowing about vitamins could help to make this world a better place.
Several days ago, this was a case, and I was also in some quarrels in my mind. I was asked by my colleague. It was a call. Come on, we have some problem in our office. You are a doctor. Maybe you'll help us, but I am not a doctor. And there was a story. One girl was eating with someone from the lunch box and suddenly fell down. And I asked what she eat, and they say they just eat plain rice. She refuses to consume salt in any form, and as I do. And I told him immediately you should put some portion of salt and some portion of water in her mouth, and maybe in 1 minute everything will be okay. And they do so, and then they were making a call with video, and they were greeting me, and they making applause because this girl suddenly started to feel herself better. And sometimes it happens. People, for example, start to eat just pizza or McDonald's or some other food, and they do not understand that their body do not have sufficient amount of some vitamins, and sometimes the body will broken. Do you remember was a children cartoon in Soviet Union about Planeta Железяка, like about planet which was made from ferrum, and there were a lot of small robots, and they became come dead because someone put in the oil dust from diamonds. Do you remember? And when
Yes.
this oil was cleaned up, they start to greet people who feed them. The same with people. If you eat, for example, butter, if you eat for example, bread, but you have no fruits or veg, you are not often goes to the sun, you never eat fish, and so on, your body will break out, and then you will feel yourself unhealthy. You will have problem to have a good thoughts, to have a good sleep, and some small portion of vitamins will give you like a new life. It was like maybe 2 years ago, it was a pupil in School of Troubleshooter. His name was Vadim Переловский, and we were writing with him several articles about small apotheks. I don't know how to say, small pharmacy boxes.
Pharmacy box.
Pharmacy boxes. And one of article was about vitamins, and we quarreled for several weeks, and we were just reading the books to have an arguments. And suddenly we found very cheap vitamins, which should be very effective. And we have a fight. I don't know how to say. We have a bet.
Have a bet.
We have a bet, and we started to take them because Vadim paid for one box for me and one box for him. And suddenly one small box was arrived to my doorstep, and we started to feel them in our mouths. And after 5 days, I found that my comfort became better, and I could be more calm, and I have no pain in some joints and so on. And I was so amused, and I was saying to Vadim that he is right, because I was not thinking that vitamins is so important in our life. I was thinking that just consume good food from good restaurants is quite enough. But Vadim, in a very short period, showed me that I was completely wrong.
And we review the skill of vitamins and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace and be healthy.